Hello there. Sorry, I'm going to position this just a little bit better. Welcome back. We're working on our next signature. We're going to make a pocket page on this side. We're going to have a couple of flaps over here. But this is what I have for my base page. I love this piece of paper. It's just gorgeous. I love it. Now, I do believe that it measures the same all the way around. So 8 3/4 into the height by 8 1/4. And I prematurely taped this on here, but I need to make sure I've got it going the right way. Yes, so it does go this way. All right. So you're going to go 8 3/4 in your height, and you're going to cut 8 1/4 in the width. Now my pocket is at 2 1/4 inches by the height. It does not count the decorative design. I prematurely added this, my mistake, but you didn't need to see me tape that and put that on anyway, did you? I did forget, though, to ink this piece. Now this is just out of my scraps. And so is the flower that I'm cutting to put on this. So the piece in my scraps has got this beautiful dark brown sepia work going on, but the reverse side, the piece I found has this flower, and it says Voyages Fantastique. I think that's, I don't pronounce things in French very well. Anyways, so here is the flower. And I'm just going to put it right on here, and I'm just going to glue the center of it. I'm not going to glue it all the way down. That way it has a little bit of height to it. All right. Such vibrant colors in this collection. And then just a small dab. In fact, I'm just going to glue this right here. I'm going to kind of curl up a... Now this does has some gears on it. I'm going to try to match the gears with what's underneath. Okay, there we go. I need to keep these out here because I need to remember that we're going to be putting in some magnets. Okay, so we're going to have an internal flap. There is this card. I'm using it. The beak actually comes out into the white trimmed area, so I just trimmed it off. I wasn't going to fussy cut around that. And then on the inside, I'm using another piece of this, and we're going to put on a nice short little tuck that will come in on the inside. This piece measures at 5 inches. There is a score at 1/2 inch. So this is 5 by 5 5/8. Okay, and then you're going to score it at 1/2. So we're at 5 by 5 5/8. We're going to score it at 1/2 inch. But don't do anything with that yet, because you need this panel here to do that with. So This panel obviously is the 8 3/4 in the height, but it is going to measure at 5.5 inches across. You are going to have a 1/2 inch score and a 5/8 score. So 5 inches by 8 3/4. I apologize, this pencil is not showing up very dark. Then you're going to score it at a 1/2, and then you're going to score it at 5/8. So you're going to have it 5 by 8 3/4, and then you're going to score it a 1/2 and score it 5/8. And we're going to put this on first. So if I'm at 8 3/4, I'm at 4 3/8 is going to be my center. So right here, 4 3/8 is my center, and then this was 5 5/8, so I'm 2 1/2. I think I want to be right about here. Let's see, what do I have here? So I am 1 3/8, and I am, it's going to be an odd measurement to get in the center of this, but I think I'm close enough that I'm going to go ahead and put this down. Now I did a lot of jostling, so let me just do this here. I'm fine. I am totally fine. And then I'm going to put this in here. I'm going to come right up to that 1/2 inch score line. So then when this opens, you've got another flap here. And I sure hope I put this on upside down. Oh, I'm so angry with myself. What was I thinking? Well, that's the point. I wasn't. I am just got things going on upside down, backwards, every which way. Goodness sakes, Charlie. And the reason that was on wrong is I would not be able to lay paper over the gusset. The gusset would have, this whole thing would have been wide open. All right. Jimini's Louise. Okay, so 4 in here. Just a second. Okay, so we're going to put, this is going to line up right here. And then this came out of my scraps, this piece right here. So it fit perfectly in the height, but it didn't in its width. So, ta-da, we put in a tuck. Magic. We've hidden it. Nobody knows except you. All right, so let's put this on. At least put it on the right side up. I'm just going to come over here, sneak that in there. Voila! I've already pre-taped this little guy. So this is measuring in at 1 inch. And I'm just going to tuck it right along this seam. And then this piece here should be about 7/8. Yes, so you're going to come in about 7/8 on this. And we're just going to glue this in. And there's your tuck. So now we're going to open this up, and on this side will be the hummingbird. And we'll just go ahead and glue him right in there. All right, before I put the rest of the paper down, I want to get this panel built, get it installed, because it is going to have to support a magnet. So I'm going to put that aside, and we're going to come over here and play. Okay, so the pocket itself is going to measure at 6.5 inches. And you're going to score it at 1/2, and you're going to score it at 5/8. And obviously it is still the same height, which is 8 3/4. Then you're going to cut another one that is going to be 6 3/4. You're going to score it at 1/2 on both lengths. You're going to put tape on the underside here. These are going to fold in, and then you're going to put it right here inside. And this is where the magnet's going to go to close this. So we're going to go ahead, and once you get yours cut, I did angle cut up here at the top. Now I'm just going to tack these down. And then I'm going to follow the SCOR line . And then seal it. And then up here's our pocket, and we'll make a long insert here for our pocket. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to put this on. I've got all my pieces here in the way. I start these out trying to be nice and neat and tidy, and by the time I get done flipping things, there it's not. Okay, come right up to that 1/2 inch SCOR line. Fold this over. I'm going to give a push back on this just a little bit to try and reinforce that. All right, now let's get our magnet in. Where are they? There they are. Those are not the ones I wanted. Where's my... I don't know where they went. Oh, there they are. I do know what I'm doing, trust me. Let's see if we can get these things separated, get them on the other side. Then I'm going to come over here on this, and I'm going to bring this in about an inch. This gusset over here is doing some funny, funky stuff. And then I want a little bit of stay in place tape. All right, so staying over here on the left-hand panel, there is this piece that I'm using. Dirty Spoon, Whiskey Chasers, Mood Area 51. What a cute piece of paper. All right, and that's just gonna go right in here. And I can see that I did not ink this one either, so just a moment. I don't like white edges. All right, now we're going to tape on this panel. Now I can use either side. I can use this side or this side. I happen to kind of like this side. It's got a lot of elements on it. And I like the Dirty Spoon. So let's just keep that right where it is. Oh, wow. Oh. Oh, they had a production issue on this. Excuse me. I gotta see if I can get this off of there. All right. I'm not sure how that happened because I know this is a fresh roll. I did not do that. So that little mistake is not mine. Boy, that came up funny right there. I cannot believe the amount of tape that's on this edge. Okay, let's slide this right in here. And then this is a nice big page. It will support several photos. You can either commit them or you can make a tuck, which is what I'm going to do. Again, this is 1 inch. And I'm going to run it just to the inside. I'd like to have a little bit of that blue show through. It's cut just a little long, so bear with me here. There we go. And then I'm using a piece off that bronze piece that we pre-cut. It's out of the scraps, but you can use any piece you want. I'm just letting you know what piece I found that I'm using. So it has that dark brown streak that runs through it. It's got the wording and the lettering, both tiny, tiny, and then script down here. Okay, and then that gives us a nice little tuck. So we're going to come back over here and finish this side. I'm trying to remember where my pieces came in at. So here, I'm going to use this piece here and then I think it was this piece out here because I wanted the contrast. This will actually go this way. And then there is a piece that's going to have a couple of butterflies and a flower. And I have cut them out. I have backed them on blue cardstock, and then I've raised them up on some pop-ups. And that's going to be the front. And then this piece, which is my contrast, is going to have a small pocket out here. And then I'm using, again, a piece, which is the reverse side, for right here. I'm using this piece because I've got a hummingbird. Here's a flower, a couple of flowers, so that it looks like that the hummingbird is coming after the flower. And this is going to get, I need to finish the inside. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. So down here, I've cut a small pocket that's going to come in here like so. I'm using this piece that matches the base piece. And then I found a quoted saying that I like, and I have framed it and put it in here. That sheet is full of quoted sayings, so pick the ones that speak to you. Just gently set that in there. And then I'm going to put my little saying. And if you're curious about what mine says, it does say, dreams are the stars guiding us in the darkness. There's some lovely, lovely quoted sayings on that sheet. And then it closes and you've got your pocket. Okay, let's work on this outside. This is going to be taped. I want to make sure that the floral pattern is going in the right direction. So I'm kind of flipping that around there a little bit. I think this is so pretty up against this blue. And then my pocket. And this pocket is measuring at 3 inches by 4 3/8. Okay, and then I'm going to do sometimes when I'm cutting this swirl, the loops get cut off. So you'll see me doing a little bit of a glue tack to hold those in place so they're not sticking up. And they're well within the 1/4 inch tape line that I have, so they should not be of any issue when someone's putting stuff inside. All right, so now we're going to put on this piece here, kind of staying with the theme of things. And then I had this beautiful butterfly that was left over, and I'm going to go ahead and tack it right here. This was off the front of the album. I had it left over, wasn't sure where I was going to put it, but it's going to sit right there. Okay, now we're going to get to the front. So I'm going to glue this whole thing on. And I'm going to pay particular attention to the cut edges here. Now, if you don't like to do this, I get it. But I want to let you know that what I did was I came in, there's a seam. I look for seams now because it hurts sometimes to try to use the craft knives, but right there was a seam. And all I did was close it up with some tape. And then down here, I just came in a little bit here off this end and went up. So there's not much obvious cutting into the paper that anyone can see. And then I just did a very careful trim. All right, let's slide this right in place. And then just very gently, so I don't want to tear up any of these internal edges. Okay, so I will start the arduous process of taking all the backing off the foam tape. Okay, got it. And then it's a matter of just simply putting it right back where it came from. But gosh, it sure creates a nice depth and some height. And then the same thing with this piece down here. And I am doing pulling tape off camera. I don't think you need to watch me pull tape. So now we're just going to set this one right back in place. Okay. So we have this as our front. We have a pocket here. We've got a nice deep tuck over here. We've got our pocket. We have another pocket, we have another tuck, and we have a big tucking pocket there, and lots of room here to put stationary photos. Okay, let's get some tape on the back of this, and let's get it in the album. I think I'm going to use 1/2-inch tape. Oh, we still have to make our, I almost forgot. We have to make our pocket pull. So let me get this done. And then we'll look at the measurements for that pocket pull. Okay, so let's take a look at that. All right, so the pocket itself measures at 5 3/4 inches. I'm going to cut my pull at 5 1/2, and then I'm going to cut it at, remember that I have a 1/2-inch tape down here, but it starts to tighten here, so I think I'm going to leave it at 8 3/4 by my 5 1/2. I think I've got a spare piece of paper. I can at least cover one side. So 8 3/4 by 5 1/2. And whoops, I'm trying to topple my lamp. And I think I'm going to go ahead and do 1/4 inch rounds on this. All right, let's do a test. Let's see how this is going to go in here. Oh, perfect. I don't know that I like it sticking up that high, so that's a good 1/2 inch. You get to watch me play around with this. Let's go to 8 1/4. Okay, so now it's in there, it's tucked in there really nice. All right. I thought that I must have used it, so let's go find us something that would frame in rather nice. But of course you want to be able to cover it with a photo. So let's go pick on a piece of paper. We played with that. I'm not ready to play with that yet. We've played with that. It's going to be on a tuck, so this is the one I'm going to play with. It's got small balloons, air balloons on one side, and then it's got this side that has landmarks, continents, and I'm going to use this piece here. And we're going to cover one side of it for now, and then we will see what we have when I'm done. So I'm just going to sneak up here, leave my little blue edge that I like to see. make my tick mark here. And then I'm going to come down here, leave a little blue edge there. Whoops, I'm going to move in the center here a little bit more so I can see this, the edge of this. I'm going to cut it right there. So here's my first, here's my second. And then we're going to round the corners. Perfect. Let's grab some ink. I was not enamored with this piece. I don't know if it's the color of blue that they used with the rust color, but now that I've got it trimmed down to a smaller piece, I like the flow. I like the elements. Whoops. Okay, now I do have some darker blue ribbon. I think I'll put a pull tab on the top of this, but I'll fuss with it later. I'm gonna just leave it out, hanging out here just a little bit. Okay, so that's done now, and like I said, I'll come back and cover that later. I want to make sure I have enough paper. So we're ready to go. Put this in our book. And it's going to sit just like so. And I'm going to come right to the end, bring my gusseted edge right up to the end. And excuse me while I turn this back around this way, because I want to get under this side first. And I'm going to make sure my gusset lays flat. Just push forward on the page. And then I can get in here easily on these sides. Push forward on that gusset. There we go. I'm trying not to move my camera. My craft room table is not as sturdy as the one out in my craft room. Okay, there we go. We're done. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll see you on the next signature. Bye-bye.